B.com here, Bread Magazine. Be real every day and deliver. And I have Koo-Rod of 4 Deep with me today, and we're going to do an interview with you. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm blessed. I'm blessed and highly favored.
Awesome. Well, if you don't mind me asking, I wanted to know when did you start in the entertainment industry?
I started when I was in high school at the age of 16 actually, and I was doing house parties, just having fun, with my friends, just writing rhymes, and I was doing break dancing, graffiti. I was actually like a graffiti artist. That's how I used to make my money through high school until the whole crack epidemic just came and took it over by the time I turned 18.
And where are you from, for those who don't know?
Well, I'm originally from Kansas City, Missouri. I was raised in West Africa, Liberia, and I actually moved back to the States because of the civil war that we had in Liberia. I moved back to the States in around 81, and I lived in New York. I lived in New York for about a good 5 years, and around 87, I moved to Houston, Texas, and I've been in Houston, Texas until this day. I'm still here.
And that brings me or leads me to 4 Deep. How and when did it start for you?
Well, 4 Deep, wow, man, the history of 4 Deep is so crazy. Before there was even 4 Deep, I had met Big Boss, who was in a group at the time called OG Style. And OG Style, as those who don't know or do know, was signed to Rap-A-Lot in the late 1990s, actually in 89, and 90, 91, they had a hit record called I Know How to Play 'Em on Rap-A-Lot. And at the time, Big Boss, who was the producer of OG Style and also a group member, had discovered me at a house party and talked to me and told me, man, if you really want to get in this music industry, man, you have to learn it from the grounds up in order for you to really learn if you really want to be in it or not. And I started as a roadie for OG Style. I used to be on the road with them, I learned how to hook up DJ equipment. I learned how to record in studio sessions. I was there when they signed their deal with Rap-A-Lot. I used to be on them, be with them on the road, doing various concerts with various acts like Sonic, BDP, before KRS-One left BDP, Public Enemy, Special Ed, various groups that was out in the early 90s. I was there to witness it all. And the group unfortunately broke up in around 92. The group broke up, and Big Boss was like, well, cool, I'm saying, since you've been down so long, I'm gonna give you a chance, we're gonna form this group. And at the time, 4 Deep, bear with me, y'all, I know it's a story, but it's very prevalent.
No,
at the time,
you take your time. It's all about you, so do you.
At the time, I don't know if a lot of people, to learn about 4 Deep history is to really know rap history in the South. At the time, there was a group called Nemesis. Nemesis had a song out in Dallas. There was actually a group based in Dallas called Munchies for Your Bass. I want you, Munchies for Your Bass group Nemesis. There was a member in the group called Azim. And Nemesis, the group broke up. Nemesis was signed to a New York label called Profile. Profile had Salt and Pepper. They had Dougie Fresh at one point in time. It was a reputable record label. And when Azim left Profile, he came down to Houston. Him being from Dallas, he left Dallas and came to Houston, and he ran into Boss, myself, and a classmate of his by the name of WG, and we came up, man, just at a studio. We just all met up. We just all happened to meet up at a studio. And Zine was like, "Well, man, I just left this group, but they was on that, they was on that bass music, Magic Mike bass music. That was the time during the time of 2 Live Crew and, Bust Down and Sonic, and JJ Fad, and bass music was real prevalent during that time." And he was like, "Man, I'm really trying to go against the grain. If we can come up with something, I know I can get us a deal with Profile Records in New York." And we put a demo together, and we called ourselves Fourth Dimension. Fourth Dimension meaning the fourth realm, in the mindset where we're above and beyond everything that's around us. And to make a long story short, we pitched the demo to Profile, and Profile was like, "Wow, Azim, we've known you for doing bass music. We thought you was going to come back with some more stuff like that. We're not really just feeling this consciousness and, what you guys are doing. We wish you good luck if you ever come up with a hit or something like of that nature, then, we'll definitely be interested in signing you." And Azim was like, "Well, you know what, man, look, you guys, no hard feelings, but I'm finna, go on and get my, my degree, finish getting my degree in college." And he introduced us to us, and it was only 3 of us left, me, WG, and Big Boss. And WG was like, "Man, you know what? I'm finna do the same thing. I'm finna go and finish getting my degree." And wow, he was going to PV at the time. He was like, "Well, I'm finna go and finish getting my stuff." And it was only me and Boss left, and we was like flipping. We was just driving. I remember we was flipping, and like Boss had just got a brand new Pathfinder, and we was just flipping. And we went to this club called Kokomo's on the north side of Houston, Greenspoint. And we just so happened to have a talent contest that was going on, and we sitting in the parking lot just chilling. And this was during the time of no cell phones, where your closest cell phone was a payphone, and the payphone just happened to be in parking lots where you could drive up to the payphone and stick your head out the window and talk on the payphone like it's a cell phone, And so Boss was on the cell phone, on the payphone, and a young rapper just runs up to the car. Man, I follow Big Boss. I remember you, OG Style, and man, I'm your fan, man. Just listen to my demo. Here's my demo, man. We just got through winning the rap contest up in here in Kokomo's, and Boss was like, "All right, man," he was like, "Nah, put it in." So Boss puts it in, and it was dope. It was dope, and that rapper happened to be Klas-One.
Oh.
And Klas-One, he was like, we were up in age at that time. I was like 19. Boss is like 21. Boss had already graduated from the high school law enforcement. Already got his degree and everything like that. And at the time, Boss was working for an all-news radio station, all sports channel, KTRH to be exact. And at the time we had left, Boss had left OG Style and so on and so forth. So Boss was like, "Man, cool, if you still want to do this, man, fuck it, this kid is dope. Let's see what he got. What you think?" I was like, "Well, fuck it, let's do it." And we met up, cut him a demo. He went back to the club again the next weekend and won again, and they banned him because they had been winning so many times. So Boss was like, "Man, we got to sign it. We got to get this kid." And Boss was like, "Well, fuck, what I'm saying? I still got this contract with Rap A Lot." And I was like, "Well, let's try to get a deal first. What I'm saying? Rap A Lot ain't going to fuck with us unless we get a deal. And if we get a deal, then we'll deal with it." True enough. And it just so happened we got a deal. Off our first demo, which was Another Day in the Jungle, 4 Deep, the label that was interested in us was Albatross. Albatross was a record label in Houston, Texas that actually discovered MC Breed. Ain't No Future in Your Front. R.I.P. to MC Breed. and Albatross actually sold MC Breed to Ichiban, and within that dealings, they got a distribution deal with Ichiban out of Atlanta. Ichiban is actually a company owned in Japan, unbeknownst to us at the time.
Wow.
Sure, we inked a deal and everything like that. But the thing about it is, like, Boss being a shrewd businessman that he was, like, 4 Deep never signed to an actual record label. Me and Klas-One, we signed to Big Boss as artists, you know, work for hire. And Big Boss, in turn, signed his services onto Albatross under a 3 to 5 year auction deal. That means within 3 years, we have produced 3 albums, either 3 albums or within 3 years produce 3 albums. And after the 3 albums are done, we have an option to renegotiate a contract, and the record label actually then has a chance to try to sign us as artists. So it gave Big Boss leverage to the point that he owned his own masters, that the record label themselves never paid for any of our studio sessions. You know, we came out of pocket for that. We never did any music videos because we never wanted the record label to pay for it. We never took an advance. We never took advance money because we didn't want to own the record. You know, we didn't want to owe the record label anything, because in order for Big Boss to get out of his contract with Rap-A-Lot, we had to give up our proceeds from our first album, which was Another Day in the Jungle. Me and Class had to actually agree to that.
Okay.
The very first album, it got rave reviews. Was like at the bottom of Billboard's charts, but we made it.
And that's nonetheless something to talk about. No matter where you place, you place.
The song at the time was called "You Got Played," and we actually got a write-up in the Source magazine. And this was in 1993. We got up the Source. Please do your research. 1993 Source magazine, 4 Deep is in there, and we got 3.5 mics. You know, at that point in time, a lot of artists was not getting those 3.5 mics coming out of Texas. Nah. If you look in there, you'll see a couple. I'm not going to mention the other Texas artists that's in the same magazine as us that got less than that. And then after that accolade, we didn't go on the road because we owed Rap-A-Lot. So that went over smooth. We actually did a bunch of shows with Rap-A-Lot. We got lots of love from Rap-A-Lot because we were like men. We stood our ground. And we paid up like we say we was going to pay up, never down talk them, anything like that. And then we dropped the second album, which allowed us to drop a second album. And we had to dump Ichiban as a distributor because our albums were being sold overseas without our knowledge. And when our royalties came back, it was short because we found out because we had friends like overseas, and our friends overseas were like, "Wow, man, y'all made the import charts here, in Japan, and y'all like number 15." And then the next thing, like 2 weeks later, we get a call, "Man, y'all number 2." It's like, what? Y'all number 2 on the import charts, man. Y'all shit selling. It was like, well, it's like, okay. So we thinking royalty check time comes when royalty comes around.
Right.
We only get counted for what's going on in the U.S. We're like, well, man, we know we're getting shit over in Japan because we got people telling us about it. So we go, we do our investigation, get a lawyer and everything, and come to find out, that's when we found out that there's 2 separate books, between the Europeans and the Americans. You can sell 500,000 here and go gold. You sell 500,000 overseas, that's platinum.
So what did you end up doing, or how did you guys follow up with that?
We actually stayed in court for about a year, and then they finally just released us out of our contract.
Okay.
And we was like, fuck it. It gave us, a bargaining chip, and we actually went in 1994 and signed with Solar. Got a distribution deal with Solar. At the same time, Dr. Dre and Snoop was over there, too, when they dropped the deep cover. And we did pretty good. That's when we started going on tour. And no, we still didn't take any advance money from the record label. And no, we still didn't shoot a video. The video budget was like about $30,000. Nah. And our second single off the album was Rolling 4 Deep. And we got crazy radio play. It was getting crazy radio play in Atlanta, Houston, Ohio. Cleveland, Ohio was like one of our biggest radio stations. Like, we were selling records over there like crazy too in the Midwest. So we did our tour and everything like that, and I mean, we did our thing for a while. We did our thing for a while, and with every success story, comes more money, more problems.
Right.
And that was the demise of 4D.
How important is it for artists to understand how important it is not to take an advancement or take a loan in a sense of your career? Because, you keep emphasizing how you guys never did it, you never started out with it. That's just like what you instilled in your career, and that's how you became the success you are without owing essentially anything at this point. So, I guess, what is it that makes you feel so, or what instills that in you not to take any advancement? Why do you feel so strongly about that?
Well, I was taught, once you own somebody, you become a slave to somebody. Once you owe somebody, you become a slave to somebody, and they treat you like that, And it's just a lot of these cats in the industry are basically slaves. And that's no pun intended to any of them, because if you have nothing, you get what you deserve,
True. Thanks, and I appreciate you being so real about that.
You don't own your masters. Like, one thing about 4 Deep, a lot of people are like, man, we've been wanting to hear. I get a lot of calls and a lot of inquiries from overseas and a lot of inquiries from here in the States. Man, what's up with that 4 Deep, man? When y'all gonna put the 4 Deep out? Well, when the group 4 Deep broke up, it's like I really lost my passion for rap. I loved it, but then again, I could fall in love. I could fall out of love with it.
True.
It gave me everything. Then again, it gave me misery. So I rather keep my friendship than to, have to watch my back just because I have money or I took deals. And it's not to say that I didn't get approached by, other record labels and stuff like that to sign me and stuff like that. And I refused deals. And so it pushed me, to be a recluse. It pushed me to go off by myself. And I actually, I got married. I had kids. And I took the opposite route. Whereas when I was in the music business, I wasn't engaged, I wasn't married, I didn't have kids because the music business doesn't really have room for that.
That's interesting.
It really doesn't, and that's become a lot of relationships in the entertainment business doesn't last. It's really all that shit's a front. It's not made to last because you're constantly meeting new people at the same time all the time, and there's deals that need to be made. There's asses that need to be kissed. There's, what I'm saying?
Stuff that needs to be done on a corporate level.
Yeah, you're getting drunk, you're getting high, and next thing you know, you're getting compromised, And if you and your wife are in the same business, what's to say the same thing that's happening to you is not happening to her? So guess what? At one point in time, you know what I'm saying, the shit's going to hit the fan.
That's a dope way to put that. Well, I want to ask, because you said that you lost the desire, in a sense, for music. What curbed your interest in cinematography, and what have you been up to recently as far as films and videos?
Well, 4 Deep actually did reunite.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. We actually reunited back in, like, the early 2000s, like 2001, 2002. And unbeknownst to me and to Klas-One, that Big Boss's health was at risk. He was suffering from a failure of the kidney. We wasn't aware of that because we had lost touch for so many years. And what happened, how we got about it, is like my little brother had been recording with Big Boss, and my little brother like tricked me into coming to the studio, and Boss and Klas-One was there at the studio. And I mean, it's like I hate to use this analogy, it's like an old dope fiend. A dope fiend can stay away from drugs as long as his homeboys that he used to do drugs with or started doing drugs with is not there and it's clean. But if you go to the same spot, if you get tricked to go to the same spot and you see the same motherfuckers that you used to hang with so tough, still doing shit, at one point in time in the back of your mind, you're going to be like, man, fuck it, man, let me get ahead of that shit. I've been off it so long, it ain't going to bother me. One hit ain't going to fuck with me. Yeah, and that one hit fucked with me. We wind up doing a reunion album called The Foreclosure, and the song is available on iTunes right now. Foreclosure, 4 Deep. Big Boss had formed his own record label called Power Move Music, which we all, agreed, and we signed a contract to be on the record label and to put out at least 3 to 4 projects. And we had great features on that album. We had Orange Juice Jones from Def Jam days. I saw you in him. Yeah, that Orange Juice Jones. Slim Thug came and got on the album. Bun B, he jumped on the album. And Orange Juice Jones' son, Mookie Jones, a young and up-and-coming artist by the name of J Jones, he was on there as well. And various artists that was on that album that all did it out of love. At the time, Boss had built his own studio, formed his own record label, and the only thing we had to do was to produce the material and actually seek a distribution deal, which would mean that all the money would come back in our pockets this time. And then on top of that, we owned our own masters. And I'm going to say that again. We owned our own masters. 4 Deep, a lot of people is not going to hear a lot of 4 Deep until Klas-One and myself get ready to release it. And that's coming soon. That's coming real soon. But in the meantime, Boss had passed away not too long after the completion of the Foreclosure album. And when he passed away, we was actually filming. I was filming the recording session, which would mean that that's the first time that 4 Deep has ever been documented on film as, recording and so on and so forth. And I was seeking people to actually edit the film, but their prices was too crazy. And my wife was like, well, why don't you learn how to edit yourself? And she actually bought the program for me, and she paid for it. Sony Vegas, I started editing on the Sony Vegas. Watched tutorials, and taught myself how to edit. And once I did that, I posted it on YouTube, and I got next thing I know, within like about 3 to 4 days after that, I remember this vividly. I got a call from Double XL because I had posted my number on, in the information on YouTube. Yeah, and I actually did a full-fledged interview with Double XL, and next thing I know, after that, Source Magazine called me up, and why did you let us know, and what's the future for Four Deep, and what you guys got going on, and that's when I saw how powerful film was.
So, one call, one click.
And I started doing film ever since.
I read somewhere that you made a statement that Big Boss worked until his last days to get the new project Foreclosure out for his real fans. To me, that defines his character and his work ethic to the end. And you pretty much described like his last days and working with him so relentlessly. And how is it being in the industry at this point with the loss of someone that you consider a brother? How does that impact the music that you make or you currently will be making in the future?
I mean, it does it. Oh my God, it impacts it tremendously because whenever me and Klas are together, it's like it's so automatic because Boss was more of like a big brother, and then at times, a drill sergeant, he will make you steady. He'll make you. You just couldn't just come and just say a rhyme to Boss, and oh yeah, that's cool, we're gonna do that now. It was like, well, why you said that? Well, what's the purpose of saying that? How you think it's gonna impact the listener that's listening to you? Do you think they can relate to you by you saying what you just said? I think you need to rephrase that. It's such a grave impact. Like right now, me and Klas-One, we put a mixtape together within less than a week. We actually have still some songs left over, and we're actually going to drop like 2 mixtapes, and then we're going to do an album. And we have like features lined up, and we have like producers lined up that's like, man, look, I'll give you a track. I'm not trying to ask you for no money. I just want to do I just want to be on a 4 Deep album. Period.
Oh.
And I mean like producers like Mike B, like, platinum producers. Shout out to Mike B. Shout out to 3-2. 3-2 is not too long ago. 3-2 was featured on the very first 4 Deep album. Matter of fact, a lot of people don't understand or even know that Big Boss produced that hit One Day Here, Next Day You Gone on the UGK album. That was actually.
And I absolutely love that song.
Yeah.
It's an all-time classic.
Big Boss produced for groups like the Baby Ghetto Boys, Too Much Trouble. He produced for South Park Mexican as well. I mean, Boss had a lot of influence on a lot of the Texas music. DJ Screw, God rest his soul as well, was also a huge fan. And we thank him for putting 4 Deep on his early on Gray tapes. He put the Rolling 4 Deep on there.
How does it feel to be a part of Pioneer Music? And I hate to cut you off with that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead with your question. I'm sorry.
How does it feel to be a part of Pioneer Music at this point? We hear a lot of Houston influences in music today, more so than ever, from pretty much a lot or every artist. There's a touch of Houston in everything. That must make you feel good to know that once you've done it, you guys done it from the beginning on your own and all of that. So to not have sold yourself out and be where you are and have people emulate that, what does that say to you about the music that you created?
It makes me feel good. I don't feel bad about it at all because music is music. I mean, when we were creating the 4 Deep album and and stuff like that. We listen to rock, we listen to funk, we listen to blues. You know what I'm saying? A lot of our samples, we sampled Sade before a lot of people was even thinking about sampling Sade. We sampled rock groups that a lot of people didn't even think about sampling. Like if they was to listen to the album, the What's Really Going On album, and there's a song called On the Cool. And the reason why the song is called On the Cool is because it's a rock and roll sample, but what Boss did was he took the sample and put it in reverse so people won't know exactly what it was. He was just innovative like that. And like at the end of the song, then he played the actual sample. And then you'll hear the guitars, and then you'll hear the rock and roll influence in it, you know. And I mean 4 Deep was like we did, you know, put the screw thing on our voice before Screwed even slowed it down, you know. I mean, we did a lot of stuff like that was a bit ahead of our time because we were so anti what's going on.
Right.
Matter of fact, we took the our first single You Got Played was off of the 9-100 beat. And LL used that beat. We took that and did it just because people across the board was like, man, Texas on. At that time, it was really hating on Texas, hating on Ghetto Boys, you know what I'm saying? And 4 Deep was the one that we took those samples and we did it anyway. You know, we did what's the Ed Lover dance what Ed Lover was doing on the 1-900 beat or whatever, you know what I'm saying? We did that. We slowed that down and we did a track to it. You know what I'm saying? And that's what used to. We would go to New York and we would get so much love. They'd be like, man, y'all got to be from over here. No, we're not from here, dog. We're from Houston, Texas. You know? We was just, really on the cool, man. Like, I don't have any bitter feelings about anything. I love the fact that, you know, A$AP Rocky and Trinidad James and a lot of these cats, you know, from Atlanta all the way from New York to L.A., they digging the Houston sound because it's like just do, you know. It's meant to happen because we always went against the grain. We just didn't do what they did. We took what they did, we took it and we did it our way. You know what I'm saying? And then we formed our own culture. And it's all really hip hop at the end of the day. That's all hip hop is. It's having a fresher style. Who stands out? And if I could get you to bite my style, then hey, that's what it is. And that's what's going on right now. Houston just got that style, and they bite. So let them keep biting, you know.
Okay. I have to ask, what plans do you have for the music industry within the next 5 years? Like, where do you see yourself going, whether it be video, film, new music? What plans do you have further out?
Wow, that's a huge question. What plans do I have for the next 5 years music-wise? Really, music-wise, I really don't have any plans for music-wise. I mean, right now it's like me and Klas-One. We feeling the groove. I got the music bug back in me. I'm really into film because film really it's let me explore my artistic side. I've already done a movie by the name of The Reality Movie. It's starring Clifton Powell and Billy Sorrell's the comedian, Megan James from the Bad Girls Club, Stassi Quinn from the Bad Girls Club, Julie the voodoo chick from the Bad Girls Club, from I Love New York, Tiffany Pruitt herself from I Love New York, and that film is going to drop on Netflix like in any day now. I'm in the works.
Shout out to Lucky Cat. I'm sorry, I had to get that one in there. That I've seen like little clips here and there, and of course we promote the advertising through the magazine. But I'm waiting, and I can't wait. I have Netflix, so y'all put a lot of work into that. So shout out to Lux Cash, by the way, on that too. And awesome. I cannot wait to see what you produced for us.
I mean, it was a beautiful experience. It was my very first film, and the thing about Azim, and big ups to Azim Latif, who's the director. He called me up. He actually called me up and was like, "Cool, I got this movie. I want you, you know what I'm saying? I don't want you to be no cameraman. I see your skills. I want you to be my assistant director." I was like, "What, man? I don't know nothing about." I'm like talking myself out of money. I'm like, "No, I don't know nothing about that." He's like, nah, cool, I see you, man. He's like, "Aren't you filming that?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm filming the videos." He said, "But aren't you directing the videos?" I'm like, "Yeah." He said, "You doing the treatments and everything?" I'm like, "Yeah." He said, "Well, then, I need you." I was like, I guess, you know, and I mean, and that's when Big Boss stepped into the back of my mind, was like, you know what I'm saying, do it, you know. Never be scared to try new things, and especially if it's already in the field that you're doing. You know, if you're given the opportunity, always put your best foot forward. And I stepped in blindly, and it came out to something because I wasn't in it just for a profit. I went in it, and I actually watched and I studied, and I learned a lot. I really learned a lot. It made me a better director. It made me a better editor, because I actually wind up co-editing the movie as well, which is something I thought I would never be able to do. But, I mean, by doing that, it actually made me appreciate skill even more. And, I mean, it's to the point where I'd rather edit a movie than edit a music video. It's hard to believe, but it's really cut and dry. I mean, once you know a plot, and you know, and you can drive, because editing drives it. It's like you in the driver's seat of a fast race car, and you're actually navigating it. You can make them, you know, you can actually guide the viewer and them, you know.
Yeah.
And I like that. Not that I'm a control freak or anything, which I'm not.
Well, you need control in this particular realm that you're talking about, because if you don't have any, then it could just go haywire. And we don't want to throw money away. We want to make money, so it's all good. I feel where you're coming from on that.
But
and I'm sorry. Go ahead.
As far as music-wise, really, 4 Deep has a new mixtape. It's getting ready to drop. It's called Heard Before Seen. The first single off of there is called Rapping and Trapping, which I have a video. I already did a video out. It's already out right now. It's on YouTube. You guys can go ahead and watch it on youtube.com/Klas-One the Don. That's KLASONEDADON, Klas-One the Don. And it is Cool Films, but I mean, I love my partner so much that I still put my, I still put my peoples out there so they can get more, just like I'm getting. Klas-One, man, I'm gonna tell you something about Klas-One. Klas-One, that's my brother. That's my brother and everything, man. Klas-One is Klas-One is wow. I really can't explain Klas-One to you guys. You guys have to really have to. He's an experience. Let me just say it like that.
Well, I'm going to have to book my experience interview with him.
Yeah, you have to interview him, and I guarantee you it will be an experience.
Well, the last question I have, and then you're free to say wrong, do whatever you want, is Red Magazine prides itself on being real every day and deliver. What does it mean to you to be real every day and deliver?
Wow. Wow. I mean, just being me. I mean, that's the only thing I could do is just be me, 100%. Just praise God and everything, because if it wasn't for God, I wouldn't be here. It's just being me. I have no huge explanation. Just being
another
100%.
I'm sorry again.
What's that?
I'm so sorry. I said I'm sorry again.
No, go ahead.
What social network plugs do you have so your fans can reach you?
Well, right now you can reach me on Twitter, which is at 4D Cool Films. You can hit me up on Facebook, which is Rodney. You got my government name, Rodney Koo-Rod Brown. And that's what I'm working right now. And I got an Instagram. My Instagram is Cool Films. And before I sign out from you guys, man, you guys just be on the lookout for the projects that I'm actually working on right now, film-wise, which is, of course, 4D. And my homegirl, Queen of SDS. Queen of SDS, she has a strong movement. I'm behind her 100%. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I don't know if y'all, you might have heard of her, of course, from You Ain't About That Life,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Queen is like, she's real cool. She's like dear to my heart. She's like one of the homies on the cool. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to J-Dawg, who's getting ready to celebrate his birthday.
Happy birthday to him. I saw that earlier on your page.
Yeah. Another artist I'm working with, my boy Big Lo out of Arkansas. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to Big Lo. He's doing his thing. And my nephew, you guys got to look out for my nephew, you know what I'm saying, Jay Jones. You know what I'm saying? Young Jay Jones, the boy is the future of 4D on the cool. And I mean, man, who else? Oh, shouts out to my boy, Mike Jones. Mike Jones is on a comeback, y'all.
Yes, I saw that with you. Kudos, congratulations. I've been a Mike Jones fan since he had his original phone number, so I'm a little hyped. But I am on, and I'm waiting. I'm anticipating everything that you have plugged up with him.
Oh, man, look.
To both of y'all.
Look, y'all be on the lookout for a video with Mike Jones and 4D, you know what I'm saying? Mike Jones and 4D and got a joint together. You know what I'm saying? I ain't letting the cat all the way out the bag, but y'all just be on the lookout for that. Y'all be on the lookout for that. And also another thorough artist that I'm really messing with. I'm really fucking with is Golden Boy. Golden Boy, man, from Pipeline Productions. My boy Vico over at Pipeline Productions, Wise Guy Entertainment, has a phenomenal artist by the name of Golden Boy. And Golden Boy is like a well-rounded artist. If you ever been on my Facebook page, you might have seen his glasses called Sky Trues. He also does painting, like canvas paintings. He's like a well-rounded artist. And, I mean, his message is so strong. I did a video for him not too long ago off the old school Snoop Dogg Gin and Juice. Y'all need to check that out. You know.
Oh.
Check that out.
Thank you so much. I appreciate all of your time, and I appreciate everything you've given me. The history of 4D is very powerful. For those who don't know or understand it, it's even information that is available online, whether it's on your page, Klas-One, or if you just look up the history of 4D. And like I said, I'm definitely looking for anything that you guys have coming out this way, whether it's music or your films or music videos. You put a lot of effort into the things you do, and I pride your wife for supporting you, one, and making the decision to assist you or aid you in being, a better part of the entertainment industry, and now you found something else that you love. So shout out to her for that as well.
So a shout out to all powerful women, all powerful black women, all women, period, across the globe. Shout out to them, because without them, there'll be no us. A shout out to the queens, and the gods of the earth, And I mean, you women possess a lot of strength, especially if they stand behind that man. If they stand behind a man, there's no thing that a man can't do without a strong woman behind him. So all praises to y'all.
Thank you so much again. This is L.U.V. of Brad Magazine, and I am officially wrapping up my interview. I've had a pleasure of interviewing Koo-Rod of 4D, or a member of 4D. And also now a cinematographer. You can find him on YouTube. You can Google him, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all of that. But don't sleep on anything that he has coming out, because you're definitely, in my opinion, making different wavelengths. You've learned something and you crafted and created it. So look at you now. Big congratulations, and thank you for the interview.
No problem. Shouts out to Lux. My boy Lux. What's up? Bread Magazine is the best, you dig? Coming straight from 4 Deep, stay 4 Deep for life. One.
Thank you.